imagine it's 1988, and a year before that, you had seen the movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, and now you see that there's a sequel coming out. This is what should have happened. Instead, it never did happen, but I want to make a case for why they should have, without hesitation, made a sequel to Over the Top. The original one came out in 1987, and if you're able to just grind through the first hour, the first hour is almost unwatchable. There's a couple decent scenes, but it's basically this whiny kid who's competing, like he's so annoying that it's almost like a competition between the boy in Over the Top and the boy in the film Dutch. If you've ever seen the movie Dutch, where it's got the guy from Married with Children, and he's supposed to bring home like his stepson, and that boy versus the Over the Top boy, they're just both so freaking annoying that you almost want to just turn the movie off. But in Over the Top, if you can make it through the first hour, the last half hour to 45 minutes of that movie is so awesome. The moment they show up at the Hilton in Las Vegas, that's when I start the movie. That's when Over the Top starts. And you got all these arm wrestling characters. You got what's his name? Harry Bosco. You got Bruce Way, who was Grizzly. You got Bull Hurley. You got Hawk, Sylvester Stallone's character. You got the guys from Sweden. All these badasses fighting for the money and fighting for the semi truck that you're gonna win. If you come in first place, second place, you don't get nothing. And the last half hour of Over the Top is just awesome. And I know Sylvester Stallone didn't want to do the movie. They offered him a bunch of money, and he said, "No, I'm not doing that movie. It sounds stupid." Then they offered him more money. No, finally they offered him I'm not even sure how many millions he got, but he got a lot of money, and this is back in the mid '80s, so he basically had to do it. And it's a cheesy movie, but the last half hour is so good. And I think what they could have done is, okay, at the end of the first one, you have Hawk, Sylvester Stallone's character, who somehow beats Bull Hurley. In real life, there's no way. There's just absolutely no way. And he does that little trick with his wrist. Bull Hurley would have just snapped Hawk's wrist right off. I don't buy it for 1 second. It's just like in Rocky, where there's no way you could tell me that Mr. T would have lost to Sylvester Stallone in a fight. There's no way. But this is even worse. Like, Bull Hurley is a monster of a man, and you're telling me that Sylvester Stallone was going to beat him at arm wrestling? Okay, fine. So we'll allow it. So Hawk, Sylvester Stallone's character, wins the belt or whatever, the arm wrestling championship at the Hilton, and then he gets the rig too, and then his son is like, why don't we start a business called Son and Hawk? And then he's like, hey, yo, how about Hawk and Son? So they're gonna start Hawk and Son Trucking Company. So he's out of the game anyway. So he don't have to be in the sequel. And then in the sequel, we're gonna call it Over the Top 2, and then it's gonna be Bull Hurley's Revenge. And it's gonna start, and we're gonna have like Bull Hurley in a bar, and he helps some nice lady out, and let's make him the good guy. And let's say he gets jumped by like a whole gang of people, because it would take he gets jumped by 18 people, let's just say that, and he ends up in the hospital for 3 months. And then when he gets out, he realizes the only way he can make money is arm wrestling. So he goes, and this time we're going to have him win the whole thing. And we're also going to bring back the guy I mentioned earlier, Harry Bosco, his character. I didn't like how they title him the sore loser in #1, but it's so weird when you go back and watch how he lost to Sylvester Stallone's character. It's like the one really sketchy play of the whole sport, because it's like Sylvester Stallone keeps what do you call that? He's like uh, pacing back and forth, and then all of a sudden he just, he beats Harry Bosco real quick. And it was just kind of a weird scene. Like, I don't even know why they did it like that. So we're going to bring Harry Bosco back, and we're going to have him get close to the finals. He deserved a little redemption. And then we're also going to bring back John Grizzly, the guy that in the first one is swallowing cigars and drinking motor oil. He's got to come back. So we're going to give him a raise. And then we need some more badasses. So maybe like Carl Weathers, or like Brian Bosworth, or Tommy Morrison. Jesse Ventura. I mean, Stallone doesn't need to be in it, and it would have been awesome. They had arm wrestling tournaments in Las Vegas up until about 2002. So we could have even had more real footage, because the original Over the Top film, some of that footage is like real footage of real arm wrestling. But I think it's a movie that should have been made. The last half hour of Over the Top is just awesome. It really is. You gotta barrel through and grind out the first hour, or skip the first hour, and just watch. The moment it starts at the Hilton, that's when Over the Top it gets going. So shout out to Over the Top, and rest in peace to Bull Hurley. He was played by Rick Zumwalt, and yeah, he passed away. I want to say it was like 2003. So yeah, rest in peace to Bull Hurley. They should have made a sequel for you, and I think it would have been awesome. So anyways, everyone, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and talk at you later.